Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, a woman's best friend. Thank you to everyone who is jumping on live and joining us, and to those who are watching in the replay. I want to welcome you in. Thank you for spending your time with me tonight, or whenever it is that you're watching this. If you're in the replay audience, thank you for spending your time with me. And I want to go ahead and invite you to share this out, share this video out, tag someone if they need to see this message tonight. Feel free to go ahead and do that either live now or in the replay. Our topic for tonight is one that I actually enjoy quite a bit. It is, you were not created to hide in the shadows. That's our topic for tonight. You weren't created to hide in the shadows. And for anyone who is more of an introvert, anyone who doesn't necessarily like to kind of be out there, this is for you too. Because just because you don't enjoy being in the spotlight, just because you don't enjoy being out in front of people, doesn't mean that you were meant to live in the shadows. And all this week, I've been focused on letting your light shine, affirming that you were created for greatness. And so all of that is in perfect alignment with our topic for tonight, with the fact that you weren't created to hide in the shadows. Because you see, each one of us is created for greatness. Each one of us is endowed with unique gifts. Each one of us, we all have our own talents, our own things that are specific to us. And we're meant to cultivate those gifts, those talents. We're meant to cultivate them and use them to fulfill our purpose here. Okay? And so I've talked about gifts and talents before, how you're not supposed to hold them in. You're not supposed to keep them to yourself. They're given to you for you to share. Our purpose here, one of our many, but one of the reasons that we are here is to help each other, is to serve each other. And it's difficult to do that if you are holding on tight to your gifts. If you are, if you're afraid to share your gifts and talents with the world, it's difficult for us to help each other if you're holding on to all of that. And so, we weren't created to hoard those gifts and talents. We weren't created to keep them all to ourselves. They were given to us so that we could share them with others. So I just want to make sure that, we have that understanding, and to kind of bring that into a little more transparency, to bring that a little bit more to the forefront. I want you to think for a moment about the person who invented the radio. And think if that person decided that they didn't want to share their gifts and talents with the world. They didn't want to, they created the radio, but they kept it to themselves. Now, I'm not really sure what good that would do, but even if you think about Thomas Edison, okay, created the light bulb, found, 9,999 ways to not do it. But think about if he decided, I'm done. I don't want to share anymore. I don't want to share at all. What if he created the light bulb and he never shared it with anyone? What if that creative genius, that innovative genius, never got shared with anyone? You guys, we'd all be sitting in the dark right now. You wouldn't be watching me on a computer because it takes light to, do all of these different things. The electrical currents and how all of that works is far beyond me, but we'd all be sitting around burning candles. So think about that. And I know that those are really big examples, and that's, you're probably thinking, Crystal, that's a little, maybe that's a little far out there. Maybe you're right. But it's that same concept applies to the little things too. That same concept applies to your everyday encounters too. For instance, if you have the gift of a listening ear, if you are empathetic, if you are someone that people can talk to and they feel comfortable with, and you don't share that, you're not only you're robbing someone of their way to communicate, their way to work through their issues, their way to be able to have problems solved by you listening. You're taking that ability away from someone else. You're actually taking that from someone else. If you're a person who gives, really good advice, people come to you because you have a good worldview, you have an understanding of things, you provide them with information that helps them on their journey, but you don't share that gift. You decide that you're not going to share that gift. You decide you're going to go hang out in the back, back in the back corner in the shadows and, play, solitaire with yourself instead of sharing your gifts. You're doing a disservice to both you and that person that you could be helping. So, and like I said, our gifts and talents aren't meant to be kept to ourselves, right? We're not meant to hold on to them because the gifts that you have, they benefit others and they benefit you. Think about an artist, okay? Think about an artist. When they share their gift through creating the art, whatever it is, whether it's a painting, whether it's a sculpture, whether it's music, whether it's, drama, no matter what it is, pick your favorite art, okay? When the artist creates that, they bring joy to the person who either purchases it, or maybe it's art that's in a museum, or maybe it's, whatever it is. There is joy that is experienced by not the person who created it, but the person who gets to experience it, right? They get joy from that. If I am in an art gallery, I get joy from looking at the paintings. I get joy from looking at what someone else created, essentially for my viewing pleasure, right? I know they didn't have me in mind when they made it, but me as the consumer, I get joy out of seeing that creation. But the artist also has a measure of joy in the creative process. That is where their joy comes from, by using their talents and gifts. So that's what I mean by, like if you're hoarding them all, you're not using them, you're not sharing them, you're robbing yourself of that joy as well. You're not only withholding it from other people, but you're also robbing yourself. And it's highly likely if you're not using your gifts and talents, you're not sharing them, you probably aren't feeling very fulfilled in life either. So think about that. And so what does all that have to do with, not hiding in the shadows? That's our topic tonight. You were not created to hide in the shadows. What does all that have to do with it? Maybe you don't like the spotlight, right? Maybe you don't want to be in front of people and be seen and heard. Maybe you prefer the background. Maybe you prefer to work behind the scenes instead of, on the stage, center stage, spotlight. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you prefer to kind of be in the back, making sure that everything is moving right along, making sure that things are going the way they're supposed to be. Well, listen, that's perfectly okay too, because see, there's a big difference between being behind the scenes and hiding in the shadows. Big difference there. Living up to your greatness, living out your purpose, walking in your truth. These things do not have to be big and bold and flashy. It doesn't mean that you have to be out center stage, spotlight. Being great does not equate to everyone knowing your name. Being great does not equate to celebrity, okay? Being great does not equate to 1 million followers on Instagram. That's not the measure of greatness. Greatness can be soft and quiet. It can be humble and meek and gentle, yet still incredibly powerful. Listen, people who shine their light behind the scenes, behind the camera, truly are the people who make the world go round. Because while you and I see what's in front, that's one person, right? That's one person standing in the spotlight, using it as an example. One person standing in the spotlight. What you don't see, and I can say this honestly because I've been on television. I know what the production looks like. So what you don't see is all of the people it takes in the background, behind the scenes, running the show, so that you can see what it is that you see. So you can see the one person standing in the spotlight. I've also done event productions too. So let me tell you what, you can make an event go flawless to the audience. The audience can see perfection because there are 95 people running around backstage, making sure that everything is going on exactly as it's supposed to, problem solving, taking care of things, making sure it all goes off without a hitch. That is not the same as hiding in the shadows. Hanging out in the background, making sure that things are going right behind the scenes, that's not the same thing as hiding in the shadows. So when you're hiding in the shadows, you're not visible at all to anyone. The shadows. Who sees anything in the shadows? You ever try to walk through your house at night when it's dark, completely dark, and there are no night lights or anything? Good grief. If you have kids, don't do that because they usually have Legos or something somewhere for you to step on or trip over. So don't do that. Have a nightlight. But in that darkness, in those shadows, you can't see anything. You don't share anything, right? Because if you're in the shadows, no one can see you. And again, like I said, this is not about jumping out in front. This is not about, making you feel like you need to be out in front of people in order for you to shine your light, in order for you to display your greatness. That's not what we're talking about here. Because like I just said, your greatness, that doesn't mean big, bold, flashy. It can absolutely, certainly be quiet behind the scenes, yet very, very powerful. And because there are people out there, listen, there are people out there who need what you have. Okay? Let me say that again. There are people out there who need what you have, whether it's your listening ear. Okay? They need your listening ear. They need your artistic talent. They need your business sense. Okay? They need your understanding of how to work systems. They need your vision. They need your strength. They need your ideas. There are people out there, you guys, people need what you have. And you were given what you have, your gifts, your talents. You were given those with the purpose of sharing them, not with the purpose of hiding them and hoarding them all for yourself and not being able to share those and bring joy to yourself and to others. They need you to be you and the full version of you, not part of you, not a portion, not a piece, not half, all of you. They need you to be you, the whole you. And you guys, the whole purpose of this message is to tell you to stop hiding in the shadows, okay? Because that's not where you belong. We were created for greatness. You were created for greatness. I was created for greatness. That was our affirmation for this week. I was created for greatness. That doesn't mean out in front of a million people. It means living up to the potential that you have. It means cultivating the gifts and talents that you have so that you can share them and fulfill your purpose, so that you can be a light to other people. And you know what happens when you do that? You know what happens when you decide that you are going to be a light? You give other people permission to do the same thing. You give other people permission. You let them know that it's okay to be the best version of yourself. You're not in competition. If there's any competition, you need to be in competition with yourself. Be a better you than you were yesterday. That's your goal every day. Today, I want to be better than I was yesterday. Not better than Sally, not better than Joe, not better than anybody else in the world. I want to be better than I was yesterday. And that's how you let your greatness come forth and shine through. That's how you let it shine bright. That's how you let other people know that it's okay for their light to shine too. Because in this world, we can use more light. So be that light. Be that example for someone else. Be that light and shine brightly, okay? Do that. We all need that right now. So that's what I have for you tonight. Our topic for tonight was very simply, you were not created to hide in the shadows. So for all of my folks who think that you're doing the world a favor by hiding in the back row, by hiding in the shadows, come out. Come out, because we need what you have. There are people who need exactly what you have, and you were put here so that you could help them. So come out of the shadows, okay? Come out of the shadows and share what you have with those around you that you're meant to share it with. I want to take a minute and say thank you to everyone who joined us live tonight, and to those of you who are watching in the replay. Thank you for sharing this video out. Go ahead, feel free to like and post other places. If you are here with us on Facebook, make sure that you hit the like and follow button so you know when we go live. Also, if you are one of my friends over there on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell, the little notification bell, so you know when we are going live. And again, if this has been something that you've struggled with, being able to really understand what those gifts and talents are, how to get them out there in front of others, reach out to me and let me know. I can help you with that. It's my pleasure to be able to walk through that with you. So reach out to me. You can send me a message and we can talk about that. So until next week, I hope that you all have a fabulous week ahead. Again, thank you for spending your time with me tonight. Or if you're in the replay, thank you for spending your time with me again. And until next time, I am Crystal Fry, a woman's best friend, teaching women to see themselves, love themselves, and transform into themselves, into the women they were created to be. Hope you have a great night.